lipstick. What to do when somebody disrespects you? This can be minor, this can be major. I don't care. I don't care. What I'm going to teach you today is just that, how not to care. I don't care who you are. If you disrespect me, I'm either cutting you out, gone, in the trash, or I am keeping you at an arm's length distance. I don't care. I don't care who you are. I don't give a flying shit. I don't know. Okay? That's what we're not going to do. And I thought about this. I was like, I feel like when I have my gum and it's like non-consensual ASMR, but do I care? No. How many other people have this mentality? And how many of them should? Because I feel like when people grow up in homes that are really chaotic and unpredictable, they don't know who's being disrespectful and who's being respectful. And to be fair, how could they know if you have a childhood like that? So, can you blame them? No. But the point is how to tell when somebody disrespects you and what to do about it. I think it really comes down to self-respect, obviously, but it's a skill you have to acquire. It's not just going to happen overnight, obviously, and you have to have a basis belief that just because somebody says something about you doesn't mean that it matters at all, actually. And you have so much control over that. You decide what matters. You decide what goes into your little pea-sized brain. And you decide what you want to care about. And you can't just not care about everything, but you can pick and choose what you want to care about. And I care about my family. I care about my friends. I care especially about my career and school and job. But what I don't care about is what people think. I kind of have cared, but I couldn't care less. I could not care less. And I think as you get older, naturally that does happen, but for a lot of people, like I said, that grow up in homes like this, it just doesn't. And they grow up and people call them sensitive because they attach too easily and they get hurt easily. But really it's just because they don't have that basis of self-love. So that's what it's all about. I do think a major component of this is telling when how to tell when somebody is disrespecting you. Sometimes it's kind of like was it really that big of a deal or not? And it's kind of up in the air. The easiest way to tell is to go within. Going within. No, just listen to your intuition and really pay attention to your body and how you feel when you talk to the person that you feel might be disrespecting you, whether that is a family member. I don't care if this is a really interpersonal relationship, like romantically or platonically or in your family. I don't care who it is. If they're disrespecting you, you will know and you will feel anxious when you're talking to them, even when they're being quote-unquote nice. So if you feel this way, listen to it right off the bat and trust it. Another thing you have to be wary of, and this does not excuse their actions because I feel like some people could take this as a bit ostracizing, but that's not how I mean it at all. Trust me. You have to be aware what signals are you giving out that may drive some people to think that you are a pushover. For me, it was being at everyone's beck and call, being a total pushover, being way too easy to, for lack of a better term, manipulate, I guess. And I was just a total, like the biggest people pleaser. And I'm, like, that's embarrassing to say out loud. Like, that's humiliating. But I don't care. I'm going to say it for the sake of this video. And if you start to notice those behaviors within yourself, well, first of all, there's a lot of books I can recommend that I might link down below. I don't know if there's like a free PDF. I'm all about free. Like, if the book costs money, like, why even bother? Stupid. Anyway, theoretically, the best idea would be to go to therapy to work on that, to work on the people pleasing, because that's probably why people think you are such a pushover, and it's really not even your fault, because if you grow up in an environment where you have to be a pushover to get by, is that even really your fault? No, it's not your fault. So be aware of those behaviors, and if you don't have access to a therapist, if you don't have access to the books I will link down below, one of them is like Women Who Love Too Much. I read that one. It was, I'm going to be honest, a little bit ostracizing, because I felt at some points she was excusing the abusive men's behavior, but I don't know, that's a topic for another day. What I was saying, if you don't have access to those tools, write down what you think you can do to assert yourself more and not be too rude about it, I guess, but also be very set in stone. You can't contradict yourself. One day you're a pushover, and the next day you're not, and then the next day you are. No, you have to be consistent. Every day, make sure you're doing things that reflect your true self-worth. That is the key component here. And remember, if somebody disrespects you, there are, how many people on this earth? Honestly, too many. Like 8 billion. Does it really even matter that that little, like, speck of a human being is disrespecting you? No, it doesn't matter. So just don't care. And that's easier said than done, especially, like I said, if you're a people pleaser. But it is a skill, and it will improve if you practice. So listen to my advice if you're anything like me and you used to or do everything people tell you to do. And just stop. Just stop. It starts with little things, like people constantly asking you to do favors for them. Just say no. And learn to feel the guilt when it comes up, because you will feel guilty the first few times that you do it, maybe the first 10 times. And feel that and integrate it. And then over time it will be easier to say no and set boundaries with people. I think that's all I wanted to cover today. There will probably be a part 2 to this, but I really felt like doing this video because I've had some people disrespect me lately. And I thought, you know what? How I handled this today is how I would not have handled it maybe a year ago. And I was just thinking about how I've developed over the past year, especially with the people-pleasing mentality that I used to really hold on to. And I wanted to share how I got rid of it. So that's it, and I'll see you in the next one.